This is KI0AR. Does anyone need to use the repeater systems before I begin this evening's Colorado Astronomy Net? Please go ahead now. Calling the Colorado Astronomy Net, calling the Colorado Astronomy Net. This is KI0AR. My name is Bernice, and I'll be your net control for this evening's Colorado Astronomy Net. Just a reminder, the 3-minute timeout function is still in effect, so during long transmissions, please allow the repeater systems to reset themselves. Also, please use the word break for emergency or prior to traffic. If there is any emergency or prior to traffic, please go ahead now. Okay, nothing heard. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. This net meets every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 0100 Zulu, Wednesdays, to discuss topics of an astronomical nature, what's up in the night skies for the week, any other special events that may be of interest to the amateur radio astronomy enthusiasts around the world. Okay, nothing heard. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. This net meets every Also, this is one of the few nets where your check-in counts. I tally up the numbers and send them off to JPL at the end of each month. Counts as part of their outreach to the general public, of which we are a part. So all check-ins are definitely appreciated. I take check-ins via several ways. If you have NetLogger, I will see your call sign pop up in the AIM window and get you logged in. That's the easiest and quickest way to get on the list. Also take them over the air. I will also take check-ins via email. My email is ki0ar@ki0ar.com. Just let me know your first name and your location, and if you have a call sign, please include that as well, and I'll get you checked in. And we are also on YouTube, so if you have YouTube, look under for the Colorado Astronomy Net and watch the live broadcast of the Colorado Astronomy Net on YouTube, and just post there. Hopefully I'll see your comments one way or another and acknowledge you that way as well. So right now I'll go ahead and acknowledge Ken, NV7SS, thanks for checking in tonight, and Moy, N5ZIQ, thanks for checking in tonight. I'll go ahead and begin taking check-ins over the air. Anyone wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. Okay, good evening to you, Ed. W6RDZ, thanks for checking in tonight. And I see someone else popped up over in NetLogger, so welcome, W7CTY, Robert. I do believe that is a new call on the list, so welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net, Robert. My name is Bernice, that's Bravo Uniform Romeo November Echo Sierra Sierra, call sign Kilowatt India 0 Alpha Romeo. I've been doing the net for 29 years now, and we have all levels of experience from beginner to those who've been doing astronomy for decades like myself, both amateur and professional, and different aspects within that as well. So welcome. Robert, if you can hear us, I'd certainly like to touch base with you and officially welcome you to the Colorado Astronomy Net and find out a little bit about your background interests in astronomy, whether you are starting out or you've been doing it for quite a while. W7CTY, please go ahead. Tell us a little bit about your background interests in astronomy. Go ahead. No worries, but welcome anyway. Hopefully we'll go down the list a little bit later on. I always like to touch base with our check-ins and find out what they're up to as well. So that's around 8-ish. Oh, well, yeah, about an hour, a little less. We'll be going down the list and chatting with everybody, so please stick around. Got some interesting stuff tonight to talk to. Mike, KL7FR, thanks for checking in tonight. Anyone else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. Okay, nothing heard. I'll look for check-ins a little bit later on. Right now, I'll go ahead and get the net rolling with announcements. I publish a monthly astronomy newsletter via email and the World Wide Web. If you wish to subscribe to the email version of my newsletter, please send me an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com and request to be put on the list. Or you may visit the webpage at www.ki0ar.com/astro.html. And at the top of the webpage is also a spot where you may submit your email address and get subscribed to the email version of the newsletter as well. If you don't want to remember all that, just Google my call sign, KI0AR. You'll find a whole bunch of links, including links to the webpage and the newsletter. I also volunteer with a youth group called the International Association for Astronomical Studies, a youth group that meets out in Strasbourg on Friday evenings from 6 until 8 p.m. Always looking for new members, freshmen through senior high school age students interested in astronomy, amateur radio, high-power rocketry, remote control aircraft flying, full-scale aircraft construction, archaeoastronomy, radio astronomy, and balloon launch communications. More than welcome to visit our website at www.iaas.org for more information. The IAAS also has a club call sign, K0AAS, so if you happen to hear them out on the radio, be sure to give them a shout. And if you happen to be on the radio on Friday evenings from 6 until 8 p.m., just give us a shout as well. We monitor that. And the students would be more than happy to hop on the radio and tell you what they are doing and what projects they're running. Also, a reminder that the Colorado Astronomy Net also has a Facebook page as well. The IAAS is on Facebook too, and so is the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'm going to let this thing reset. Got one more announcement. For those of you who might be interested in flight simulations, you may want to check out Jack, KE0VH's YouTube channel, Captain Jack Flight Sim, CapnJackFlitSim. He does a flight sim on flight sim on YouTube on Mondays and Wednesdays. He's been rather busy with work, so he's got a whole bunch of previous flight sims so that you may check out on his site there. So a good group of people that meet on Wednesday nights and have a fun time just flying along with Jack. So check that out. And that's it for the announcements. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. We got Jay checked in, AI70F. Thanks for checking in tonight. And we have Lawrence, Larry. Yeah, there you go. Checking in via YouTube there. So thanks for that. I got you checked in. Out there, Larry, Lawrence, which way do you go by? You can let me know on YouTube there. But we got you on the list, so thanks for that. Anyone else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. All right, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'll go ahead and get into the local astronomical news. And let's see, for this mid-June right now. All right. Start off as usual with the phases of the moon. We had a full moon back on the 11th. We've got a last quarter moon on the 18th tomorrow morning. The new moon coming up on the 25th. The moon was at apogee, its farthest point away from the Earth this month, back on the 8th. It was 251,999 miles from Earth. The moon will be at perigee, its closest approach to the Earth this month. On the 23rd, it will be 225,668 miles from Earth. Planetary highlights for June. The innermost planets straddle nighttime, with Mercury in the evening and the greatest western elongation of Venus in the morning. Jupiter joins Mercury in early twilight for a few evenings, both setting quickly. Distant Mars lingers with Leo after dark, as our own planet hustles along its orbit well ahead of the red planet. Saturn is visible in the early hours as Neptune hangs nearby and is in conjunction with the ring planet on the 29th. Uranus reappears in the morning sky before dawn. This excerpt is from Astronomy Magazine, June 2025, page 28. Now on with the individual planets. Let's see, Mercury is setting about 10 p.m. of this week. Mercury is visible about 30 minutes after sunset, just above the western horizon. Mercury moves from the constellation of Taurus into Cancer, shining at magnitude 0.3 on the 30th. And we got Venus. Venus actually was at its greatest western elongation at the end of last month, so it is now, as the month progresses, rapidly approaching the eastern horizon. We have Venus is rising, just a little bit after 3 a.m. This week. Look for Venus to the east about an hour before sunrise. Venus moves from the constellation of Pisces into Taurus, shining at magnitude minus 4.3 on the 15th. And we've got the summer solstice occurring at 10:42 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on the 20th. So that will be our day of longest daylight period for the northern hemisphere and the shortest daylight period for the southern hemisphere. And then the nights will start to get longer as the year progresses. And that's actually the start of the summer months here in the northern hemisphere. We got Mars. Mars setting just a few minutes after midnight this week. Look to the southwest to spot Mars in the evening sky. Mars is in the constellation of Leo, shining at magnitude 1.4. And we got Jupiter in conjunction with the Sun on the 24th. Jupiter right now is setting about 8:45 p.m. this week, just a few minutes after the Sun. So Jupiter's going to be very, very difficult to spot. It'll still be lost in the evening twilight glow. So you'll have to wait till next month to see Jupiter back in the morning. After conjunction, Jupiter returns to the morning sky, rising about 5:16 a.m. by month's end. Jupiter is definitely rapidly approaching the western horizon. So we pretty much missed Jupiter for this month. Jupiter moves from the constellation of Taurus into Gemini, shining at magnitude minus 1.9. Then we got Saturn rising about 1:30 a.m. this week. Look for Saturn low to the east before sunrise. Saturn is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude 1.1. And then we got Uranus. Uranus is rising about 3:45 a.m. in the morning. Look for Uranus to the east before sunrise, very low to the horizon. Uranus is in the constellation of Taurus, shining at magnitude 5.8. And those are all the planetary objects visible with the naked eye in the evening and morning skies. Quick tutorial on magnitudes. The magnitude scale is an inverse logarithmic scale, meaning that as the magnitudes increase, the apparent brightness of an object decreases by a factor of about 2.5. The dimmest object that the human eye can see is about 6th magnitude under optimal conditions. So there's the break, Uranus at 5.8. So that would be a challenge with the naked eye, that's for sure. Any magnitudes greater than 6 will be dimmer by a factor of 2.5. So a magnitude 7 object is 2.5 times dimmer than a magnitude 6 object. And you'll definitely need binoculars or a telescope to spot that. While a magnitude 5 object is 2.5 times brighter than a magnitude 6 object. And every 5 magnitudes either going up or down is a 100 times either dimmer or brighter than a magnitude that's either 5 times lower or 5 higher or 5 lower. So a magnitude 1 object is 100 times brighter than a magnitude 6 object. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Continuing, excuse me, fighting a little bit of a sore throat here. Neptune is rising about 1:20 a.m. This week. Look for Neptune to the east following Saturn by just a few minutes all month. Neptune is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude 7.8. We have, for our dwarf planets, we have Ceres. Ceres is rising about 2:20 a.m. This week. Ceres can be spotted low to the southeast before sunrise. Ceres is in the constellation of Cetus, shining at magnitude 9.2. And then we have Pluto. Pluto is actually rising about 11 p.m. In the evening. Pluto can be spotted before sunrise to the south. Pluto is in the constellation of Capricornus, shining at magnitude 15.2. As always, good luck at spotting Neptune, Ceres, and Pluto. A large telescope and dark skies will be needed. Meteor showers. Got some interesting meteor showers this month. The Oriatids meteor shower. This is the strongest daylight meteor shower of the year. The duration extends from May 22nd to July 2nd, with maximum activity occurring on June 8th. The hourly rate is near 60 at maximum. The June Lyrids. This shower is active during June 10th to 21st. Producing predominantly blue and white meteors at a maximum hourly rate of 8 per hour on June 15th. The average magnitude of this shower is near 3, while 32% of the meteors leave trains. The Zeta Perseids. This daylight shower occurs during May 20th to July 5th. Maximum occurs on June 13th. Radar surveys have revealed the activity of this shower to be near 40 per hour. Then we have the June Boötids. This shower is currently active during June 27th to July 5th and possess a maximum of activity that falls on the 28th. The shower is notable in that its meteors are primarily fast with an average magnitude near 5. However, bright meteors do occur regularly. So what that means is those of you who may want to try out some meteor scatter communications, this is an optimum time to do it. We've missed the peaks of both the Oriatids and the Zeta Perseids, but these are nice long showers. So you may still be able to do some of that. So if you hear some sporadic communications on the higher bands, that may be because of it, those meteor scatter communications. I do have a link in my newsletter that I will post both on, I'll just take that, I'll post both on YouTube and also on the AIM window for an article that Terry Bullitt, W0ASP, did on meteor scatter communications. We do have a comet out there. Comet 29P Watchman 1 is still in the constellation of Leo this month and may glow around 11th magnitude. Look for the comet during the last 2 weeks of the month when the moon will not interfere with observing. An 8-inch telescope or better will be needed well away from city lights to spot this elusive object. So yeah, get out there and see if you might be able to spot that one. That is it for the local astronomical news. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'll go ahead and pause here to see if there are any more check-ins before I get into the bulletins for this evening. Anyone else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
Here in Victor Yankee 1, Mike Joel, the Sierra, the CY1 Ambulance GS, Michael and Yukon, and everyone on that.
And good evening to you, Michael, VY1MGS. Thanks for checking in tonight. Anyone else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
Control, this is Valencia 7, Papa Kilo Lima, KI7, KL.
And good evening to you, Roy, KI7PKL. Apologies for missing you over there on the AIM window, but I got you on the list. Thanks for checking in tonight. All right, let's see. What do we got? What do we got? For those of you who are interested in the ISS passes over your particular area, you may want to check out this particular website. www.heavens-above.com. That's www.heavens-above.com. The one reason I like this particular website, I'm going to pull that up. Let's see. Okay, that doesn't seem to be coming up. Is on this particular website, you can click on a particular date of interest for the visible ISS passes, and it'll show you a nice star chart that you can print out on a nice 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, rather than trying to figure out on a small iPhone or a pad. The pad's better, of course, but you know, a small iPhone, that's definitely kind of tricky to see that. And then it'll give you an idea of what constellations that the ISS is passing through, at least when it is visible. I'm looking over the Denver area. Looks like the ISS has returned to the morning sky. There's a decent pass coming up on June 22nd at 4:16 a.m. The ISS passes from the southwest to the northeast, peaking about 82 degrees above the southeast horizon. Let's see, a solid, well, just shy of a just shy of a 6-minute pass. And let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, there we go. A nice image of the ISS pass coming up, and on the morning of June 22nd over the Denver area. Almost a directly overhead pass. You can see that it's passing right through the Aquila the Eagle, right next to Cygnus the Swan, so on and so forth, right through the constellation of Perseus. So definitely an interesting pass. Hopefully it will be clear over the Denver area. And then we have another decent pass, actually several decent passes coming up, but you'll have to be up very, very early in the morning to spot those. Let's see, there's a decent pass coming up on the 24th as well. A little bit lower, a little easier on the neck to spot that one. So if you are interested in ISS passes over your particular area, you may want to check out that website, www.heavens-above.com. That's www.heavens-above.com. And that's it for that bulletin. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Okay, this bulletin is from the European Space Agency. Let's see, dated the 16th of June. Probe A3, first artificial solar eclipse. Today, the European Space Agency's Probe A3 mission unveils its first images of the sun's outer atmosphere, the solar corona. And I just published or just posted an interesting picture from the Probe A3 image. Let's see, where was I? The mission's 2 satellites able to fly as a single spacecraft thanks to a suite of onboard positioning technologies have succeeded in creating their first artificial total solar eclipse in orbit. The resulting coronal images demonstrate the potential for formation flying technologies while delivering invaluable scientific data that will improve our understanding of the sun and its enigmatic atmosphere. 2 spacecraft flying as one. This March, Probe A3 achieved what no other mission has before. Its 2 spacecraft, the coronagraph and the occulter, flew 150 meters apart in perfect formation for several hours without any control from the ground. While aligned, the pair maintained their relative position down to a single millimeter, an extraordinary feat enabled by a set of innovative navigation and positioning technologies, demonstrating the degree of precision achieved. Demonstrating the degree of precision achieved, the 2 spacecraft used their formation flying time to create artificial solar eclipses in orbit. They align with the sun so that The 1.4 meter large disk carried by the Occulter spacecraft covers the bright disk of the sun for the coronagraph spacecraft, casting a shadow of 8 centimeters across onto its optical instrument, the ASP-IICS. This instrument, short for Association of Spacecraft for Polarimetric and Imaging Investigation of the Corona of the Sun, was developed for ESA by an industrial consortium led by Centre Spatial de Liege, Belgium. When its 5 centimeter aperture is covered by the shadow, the instrument captures images of the solar corona uninterrupted by the sun's bright light. Observing the corona is crucial for revealing solar wind, the continuous flow of matter from the sun into outer space. It is also necessary for understanding the workings of coronal mass ejections, or CMEs, explosions of particles sent out by the sun almost every day, especially during high activity periods. Such events can create stunning auroras in the night sky, but also pose serious threats to modern technology. They can significantly disrupt communications, power transmission, and navigation systems on Earth, as they did in May 2024. The coronal images resulting from the first rounds of aspects observations offer a glimpse of the valuable data we can expect from this eclipse-making mission. Dietmar Pils, ESA Director of Technology, Engineering and Quality, comments, many of the technologies which followed Probe 3 to perform precise formation flying have been developed through ESA's General Support Technology Program. As has the mission itself, it is exciting to see these stunning images validate our technology in what is now the world's first precision formation flying mission. The mysterious halo, the sun's fiery corona, reaches temperatures above 1,000,000 degrees Celsius, much hotter than the surface beneath it. This counterintuitive temperature difference has long been a topic in the scientific community. Probe 3's aspects is tackling this mystery by studying the corona very close to the sun's surface. You can also see more detail, detecting fainter features than traditional coronagraphs, thanks to a drastic reduction in how much stray light reaches the detector. Joe Zender, Probe 3 project scientist, adds, seeing the first data from aspects is incredibly exciting, together with the measurements made by another instrument on board, DARA. Aspects will contribute to unraveling long-lasting questions about our home star. The Digital Absolute Radiometer, or DARA, will measure the total solar irradiance, exactly how much energy the sun is putting out at any one time. A third scientific instrument on Probe 3 is the 3D Energetic Electron Spectrometer, or 3DEES. Will detect electrons in Earth's radiation belts, measuring their direction of origin and energy levels. how to create a solar eclipse. I was absolutely thrilled to see the images, especially since we got them on the first try, comments Andrei Zukov, principal investigator for aspects at the Royal Observatory of Belgium. Now we are working on extending the observation time to 6 hours in every orbit. The images were processed by the Aspects Science Operations Center, or SOC, hosted by the Royal Observatory of Belgium. Here, a dedicated team of scientists and engineers creates operational commands for the coronagraph based on requests from the specific community and shares the resulting observations. Andre explains, each full image covering the sun, covering the area from the occulted sun all the way to the edge of the field of view is actually constructed from 3 images. The difference between those is only the exposure time, which determines how long the coronagraph's aperture is exposed to light. Combining the 3 images gives us the full view of the corona. Our artificial eclipse images are comparable with those taken during a natural eclipse. The difference is that we can create our eclipse once every 19.6 hour orbit, while total solar eclipses only occur naturally around once, very rarely twice a year. On top of that, natural total eclipses only last a few minutes, while Probe A3 can hold its artificial eclipse for up to 6 hours. Probe A3 mission manager Damian Galano notes, having 2 spacecraft form one giant coronagraph in space allows us to capture the inner corona with very low levels of stray light in our observations, exactly as we expected. Although we are still in the commissioning phase, we have already achieved precise formation flying with unprecedented accuracy. This is what allowed us to capture the mission's first images, which will no doubt be of high value to the scientific community. The formation flying we have achieved so far was performed autonomously, but under supervision of the ground control team, who were ready to intervene to correct any potential deviations. Our one remaining task is to achieve full autonomy when our confidence in the system will be such that we will not even routinely monitor from the ground. New opportunities for digital eclipses. Probe A3's breathtaking images are also sparking a small revolution in the way computer models simulate the solar corona and create digital eclipses. Over the past years, several institutes around Europe have developed models to simulate these observations and give scientists the means to look at the sun. But the source material needed to create these simulations is lacking. Current coronagraphs are no match for Probe A3, which will observe the sun's corona down almost to the edge of the solar surface. So far, this was only possible during natural solar eclipses, says Jorge Amaya, space weather modeling coordinator at ESA. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net continuing. this huge flow just a sec. This huge flow of observations will help refine computer models further as we compare and adjust variables to match the real images. Together with the team at KU Leuven, which is behind one such model, we have been able to create a simulation of Probe 3's first observations. KU Leuven's Coconut software is one of multiple solar coronal models integrated within ESA's Virtual Space Weather Modeling Center, or VSWMC. It can be combined with a vast array of computer models describing other physical processes connecting the sun to Earth. Altogether, they help to offer a comprehensive image of the solar phenomena impacting our planet and help citizens and industry prepare against them. About Probe 3, the Probe 3 mission is led by ESA and put together by a consortium managed by Spain's CENER, with participation of more than 29 companies from 14 countries and with key contributions from GMV and Airbus Defence and Space in Spain, and Redwire Space and Space Bell in Belgium. The mission was launched on 5 December 2024 on a PSLV XL launcher from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, India. For more information, see Probe 3's first artificial solar eclipse, Probe 3's frequently asked questions, and the Probe 3 media kit. And that's it for the bulletins for this evening. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Okay, I'm going to call on Ed to see if he's able to do the rocket report. If not, I will be happy to give the rocket report tonight. W6RDZ, Ed, are you still with us tonight? And can you give the rocket report, or shall I? Go ahead. Okay, Ed is obviously busy tonight, so I'll bring you the rocket report for this evening. The Rocket Man Ed, W6RDZ's rocket report for 6/17/2025. This rocket report covers the period of June 10th through June 24th. Last week's launches, we had 5 orbital launch attempts. The past week, 3 SpaceX, 1 Rocket Lab, New Zealand, and 1 Chinese. Wednesday, June 11th at 09:31 Mountain Daylight Time, Rocket Lab successfully launched the Mountain God Guards QPS SAR-11 mission on an Electron Curie rocket from the Mahia Peninsula in New Zealand. This was another of the IQPS's satellites, a small high-performance SAR planned for a 36 satellite constellation. That's a SAR, meaning synthetic aperture radar satellite constellation. It was Rocket Lab's and Electron's 60-second success. Thursday, June 12th at 1954 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX successfully launched Starlink Group 15-6 on a Falcon 9 from an overcast but not foggy Vandenberg Space Force Base. 26 Starlink high-speed internet satellites joined the mega constellation in low Earth orbit. This was booster B1081's 15th flight, the Falcon 9's 490th mission, and SpaceX's 506th mission overall. Friday, June 13th at 09:29 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX launched Starlink Group 12-26 on a Falcon 9, launching from Cape Canaveral Space Force Base, Florida. 23 version 2 mini Starlinks joined the constellation. This was booster B1078's 21st flight, SpaceX's 500th successful mission, and the 130th orbital mission attempt for the year globally. Saturday, June 14th at 01:56 Mountain Daylight Time, China launched the Zhangheng 102 mission on a Long March 2D rocket from the Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center, China. One payload, a seismo-electromagnetic satellite 02, went to Sun synchronous orbit. This is part of a collaborative program between the China National Space Administration, the Italian Space Agency, the China Earthquake Administration, and the Italian Institute for Nuclear Physics. It was China's 5th Long March 2D launch of the year. Yesterday, Monday, June 16th at 21:38 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX successfully launched Starlink Group 15-9 on a Falcon 9 out of Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. It was a clear and beautiful sunset launch from the Pacific coast. 26 Starlinks joined the constellation. It was booster 1093's 3rd flight. Upcoming launches next week. 10 launches on the docket for next week, 5 of them on Friday. In about 3 hours from now, Tuesday, June 17th at 23:38 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX is scheduled to launch Starlink Group 10-18 on a Falcon 9 from Cape Canaveral, Florida. Tomorrow evening, Wednesday, June 18th, Russia intends to launch an unknown Cosmos payload atop an Angara A5/Briz-M VKS-RF rocket launching from Plesetsk Cosmodrome, Russia. 3. A manned flight, Thursday, June 18th at 0600 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX, NASA, and Axiom plan again to launch the Axiom Mission 4, or AX-4, on a Falcon 9 from Kennedy Space Center, Florida. Yes, this flight was scheduled to launch last week, but was first postponed for an oxygen leak discovered in a pre-flight test firing of the Falcon 9. SpaceX fixed the O2 leak in short order, but then NASA put the mission on hold to deal with an air leak on the ISS. All clear now to go ahead with Thursday's launch of 4 private astronauts to the ISS for a week's stay. AX-4 is Axiom Space's 4th crew rotation to the International Space Station aboard a SpaceX Crew Dragon. The crew will be composed of Commander Peggy Whitson, former NASA astronaut, Subhanshu Shukla of India, Sławomir Unansky of Poland, and Tibor Kapu of Hungary. This will be India and Poland's first crewed trip to the ISS. Docking to the ISS is on 6:20, undocking around 6:27. Friday, June 20th at 0030, SpaceX plans to launch Starlink Group 10-23 from Cape Canaveral, Florida. Also in the wee hours of Friday morning on June 20th at 01:15 Mountain Daylight Time, Rocket Lab is on the docket to launch the Symphony in the Stars mission on an Electron Curie rocket from the Mahia Peninsula, New Zealand. Late Friday morning, China hopes to launch a Long March 3B/E rocket from the Xichang Launch Center, China. For the fourth launch, Friday, June 20th at 1000 Mountain Daylight Time, United Launch Alliance plans to launch Project Kuiper KA-02 on an Atlas 551 from Cape Canaveral, Florida. This launch too was delayed 1 week to the day. ULA hopes to launch a second batch of 27 payloads going to low Earth orbit of Amazon's broadband internet constellation of 3,236 satellites. And for the fifth and final launch Friday, June 20th, SpaceX is scheduled to launch the Transporter 14 mission at 1519 Mountain Daylight Time on a Falcon 9 from Vandenberg Space, California. The rideshare will take a mess of small satellites to sun-synchronous orbit. It should be the 140th orbital launch attempt of 2025. Saturday, June 21st at 0630, Blue Origin plans to launch a New Shepard rocket on a suborbital hop from Corn Ranch, Texas, on its 13th manned flight with 6 space tourists riding. It will be the BO's 5th mission of 2025. Saturday, June 21st at 23:47 Mountain Daylight Time from Cape Canaveral Space Force Base, SpaceX is scheduled to launch Starlink Group 10-23. Monday, June 23rd, Japan's JAXA is docketed to launch the GOSAT GW mission on an H-2A rocket from Tanegashima, Japan at 10:33 Mountain Daylight Time. This will be the final launch of the H-2 series. All future launches will be on the flight-proven H-3 rocket, GOSAT GW, or Greenhouse Gas Orbiting Satellite and Greenhouse Gases and Water Cycle, is JAXA's next generation satellite to monitor greenhouse gases. And for the rocket news, I already covered the ESA's Probe A3 mission for the topic for this evening, so I can skip right down to the end. That's it for tonight's Rocket Report. Rocket Man Ed wishes you a good night and nominal flight. Now back to Burness. Starman Burness, KI0AR, net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Okay, I'm looking over here at the IM window, got some notes here. Robert, okay, no worries, Robert. Pizza's more important, obviously. So no problems there. We'll get you on the way down the list, so hopefully you're still there. Yeah, we have a kind of a short list tonight. And John, we got you on the list. W2JLS, thanks for checking in tonight. I'll go ahead and pause here to see if, let's see, who else we have. We got Brandy out there. We got her on YouTube. Brandy, we got you on the list. KD0UKR, thanks for checking in tonight. All right. I'm glad to see that YouTube is out there being utilized. So those of you who are on the YouTube, definitely give me a give me a thumbs up or whatever, and like the presentation tonight. That's for sure. I hope those are definitely appreciated. I'll go ahead and pause here to see if there are any more check-ins before we go down the list. Anyone else wishing to check in to tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
This is Kilo Golf 5 Tango November Fox. Kilo Golf 5 Tango November Fox.
Okay, Johnny, we got you on the list. KG5TNF, thanks for checking in tonight. All right, now's the time for everyone else to contribute to the net. We got a short list, which actually works out for me tonight. They call the net early. I'm still recovering from my procedure from last Thursday, so sitting up is a bit difficult, and sore throat as well. So apologies for that. But let's see. Now's the time for everyone else to contribute to the net. Questions, comments, observation reports, anything you'd like to pass along to the net, now's the time to do it. Let's see. First on the list tonight is Ken, NB7SS out in Nevada. Good evening to you, Ken. What have you got for the net tonight?
Indian Springs, Nevada, where it's scorching 95 degrees outside right now. Now it got up to 105. So, yeah, welcome the night stars there. But anyway, I was just wondering. I have a favorite constellation that I like to look at up in the sky. My favorite is Cassiopeia. I don't know, it's a nice prominent one to see out there other than the Big Dipper. But I'm curious, what is your favorite constellation out there, Bernice? Thank you, NV7SF.
All right, Ken. Good question. Good question. Actually, that's a good question for the rest of the net as well. So, so we'll ask that of everybody. What's your favorite constellation to look at up in the skies? You know, I've always liked Orion. Actually, Orion and Taurus probably my favorite ones, partly because if you want to go astrology wise, I was born a Taurus, so there you go. And along with that is actually my favorite deep sky object is the Ring Nebula in the constellation of Lyra. Nice little constellation. So that I think everybody enjoys looking at Orion. It's so big, and you can actually see what it actually looks like. Lyra the harp, a little trickier. Taurus the bull, you can see. So that's what we grew up with. I think has a lot to do with it, and looking up at the night skies, things like that. I certainly wish we had some of our south of the equator check-ins tonight. That would be a great question to ask them and what they look at down south. But Yeah, I think Orion and then Lyra would be. I'll put the Lyra and Orion and Taurus are in the top three for sure. With the Ring Nebula being my number one deep sky object. Okay, Ken. Yeah, it was only in the 60s today here in Colorado. It was overcast. We had some sunshine, thunderstorms rolling through, but it was warmer earlier in the week, and looks like it's going to be warmer later in the week as well. Yeah, it's going to get into the 90s for the rest of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday here. So we're going to get your heat wave pretty soon enough. But Ken, hopefully that answered your question. Um, there's so much to have a favorite of, actually. There's just so much up there. But appreciate your question, appreciate your comments, and appreciate you checking in tonight. Let's see, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Moy down in Texas, N5ZIQ. Good evening to you, Moy. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. All right, Moy. Well, I guess we should ask Ken's question. What's your favorite constellation up there, or maybe deep sky object, one or the other? Go ahead, Moy. All right, Moy. Yeah, Mizar, the second star in the handle of the Big Dipper. Mizar and Alcor. A little trivia on that. That used to be the Roman eye test. If you could figure out which direction Alcor was relative to Mizar, the bright one there, and point your finger in the direction, you passed the Roman eye test and were indoctrinated into that lofty group of soldiers for sure. There you go. So try that. See if you can see Mizar and Alcor with the naked eye, especially around these city lights for sure. It's a lot easier when you get out into the country there. Yeah, tremendous. See if you can spot the double cluster in Cassiopeia as well. Another favorite on the top 10 list for sure. All right, Moy, appreciate you sharing that with us. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Okay, same question to everybody. Your favorite constellation or deep sky object. You can mention. You can have a few objects for sure. Ed, W6RDZ. Good evening to you, Ed. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
once again, you stole one of my articles from me. So we both look at those articles and we end up on the same one. Oh, that's funny. Oh, and but yeah, a great article on that eclipse satellite pair. That's just amazing what they do with that. Favorite constellation? Well, in the winter I have to go with Orion, just like you, for all the wonderful reasons. There's so much there. It's such a prominent constellation, and it really one of the few that, to my eye, actually looks like what it's supposed to be. In the summer constellation, though, I'll open up with Cygnus, with Dan Evans Vega up there. That's always a favorite of mine. Back in the early '80s, I looked up and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with Cygnus. There was another star in there, bright star that didn't belong, and I was just too dumb to think, oh, it's a supernova. Well, it was a supernova. I had called, I might have a supernova named after me. So that's my favorite story about Cygnus. I'll turn it back to you and back to Ned. W6 RDZ.
All right, Ed, appreciate you sharing that with us. Yes, and let's see. If you're a Broncos fan, you may want to check out the beak or the head of Cygnus the Swan. That is the star Albireo. That is also a double star. And if you look at the colors, it's kind of one blue star, one orange star. Those of us who are Bronco fans call that the Bronco stars because of the colors, the blue and orange. Take a look at that under a telescope, in a telescope sometimes as well in Cygnus there during the summer for sure. Yeah, Lyra is another one of those summer constellations that does have the Ring Nebula, which is a little bit of a challenge unless you know exactly where to look. And over the years, I know exactly where. I actually used that on my QSL card. All right, Ed, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Robert in Indiana. W7CTY. Good evening to you, Robert. Welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. I guess you can tell us a little bit about your interest, background, and astronomy as well, since this is your first check-in to the net. You may have been listening way back when, but I always ask our new check-ins about their interests and background in astronomy. Also, same question to you. What's your favorite constellation or deep sky object? Go ahead, Robert. Again, welcome to the net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
My favorite constellation would actually be Aquarius. It's actually the one from my birth.
All right, Robert, you were a bit broken up. We caught your favorite constellation, but that was of Aquarius. But we didn't catch much else. I don't know what's going on, but there was the rest of your signal was broken. I'll give you another chance there. And let's see if your next transmission is any better. Go ahead, Robert, with whatever else you wanted to share with the net. Go ahead. W7CTY, this is KI0AR net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. You were a bit broken on your first transmission. We got Aquarius, but that was all. I'd definitely like you to share with us your interest, background in astronomy. Go ahead, please.
W7CTY. Maybe this will be better. I don't know. My interest, I just like seeing what's up there. I get to see a lot of it with my job.
All right, Robert. Yeah, I appreciate you checking in tonight. And again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Yeah, I got that you like to look up. So I'm assuming that you're still in a learning mode. We're all in a learning mode here, even if I've been doing it for almost, doing the net for almost 30 years. And been interested in astronomy for a lot longer than that. Half a century, even more, for sure, for myself. They're still a little bit broken up, but I definitely wanted to welcome you to the Colorado Astronomy Net. And like I said, this is a learning net. We all learn something new every time, including myself. So again, welcome to the net. Next on the list is Mike up in Alaska, KL7FR. Good evening to you, Mike. And I saw you posted a link there. If you want to share that with us as well, that would be great too. Tell us what your favorite constellation or deep sky object is, as well as anything else you'd like to pass along to the net. Go ahead, Michael. This is KI0AR.
KI0AR and the Colorado Astronomy Net. Here is KF1FR below Alaska, 61 degrees north latitude. It's currently 59 degrees cloudy, and at this latitude we're in great net tonight. Oh yeah, I mentioned in the aim window about the radio signals emanating from Antarctica. Apparently they're searching for some type of cosmic rays or particles that I don't know the gist of it, but I heard they detected radio waves under the ice. I was figuring maybe some breakaway civilization or alien race that's living beneath that, transmitting some RF, but apparently I timed out my HD. First my note had the ID. Anyway, great net tonight, as always. Welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Getting spaced out. So thanks there, Bernice and Ed and everybody else on the net. KL 7.5R back in net control. Keep your eyes on the skies.
All right, Mike, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I posted the link both on YouTube, and you've got it posted in the AIM window, so there you go. I also posted in the YouTube video, if you want to look at it, some of the images from the article. The article that I read this evening, so you may want to check that out a little bit later on. Mike, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Jay up in Wyoming, AI70F. Good evening to you, Jay. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
For the net, my safe situation in the sky is probably the Seven Sisters, as they call it. I grew up in Gillette, Wyoming, and right next to the Devil's Tower. And the old story is Seven Sisters got chased up a tree by a bear, and they became the Pleiades star formation. And the bear and the little bear, Ursa Major, Ursa Minor. So that's probably my favorite. The Pleiades, because it's a eye test in its own right. You know, how many stars can you see? And it's always an open question. And Ursa Minor, because it's the best star. Back to that, this is AI70F, and thanks, Brandon.
All right, Jay, I appreciate you sharing that with us. It's always interesting to learn about some of the ancient lore of the constellations and the stories behind them from different cultures as well. And yeah, I've been up to Devil's Tower. It's been quite a few years, but yeah, it's interesting to learn about different cultures, different stories about the various constellations. So I do appreciate you sharing that with us, Jay. I appreciate your comments, and appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Lawrence out in Grand Junction, N0MES. I checked in via YouTube. I don't know if you're out there still listening on YouTube or listening on the radio, hopefully on the radio here as well. Anything for us tonight, Lawrence? Go ahead.
Good evening, Bernice. This is November 0, Mike Echo Sierra. The FCC website updated, but the QRZ, etc. is not updated yet. I got my novelty call sign today. So it's formerly KF0 UIW, Kilo Foxtrot 0, Uniform India Whiskey, Thomas Parker. And so hopefully it gets squared away. I think it takes about a week to
All right, Tom. Thanks for that. Yeah, I saw that pop up. Yeah, if yeah, definitely let me know. I saw you pop up in the on YouTube, so I do appreciate that. Yeah, let me know one way or another for those call changes. I'll get that updated in the database there for sure, there, Tom. And congrats on getting the call there. I have no idea. I just put in what pops up on QRZ. So. NetLogger does that automatically for me. So apologies. And we got you on the list this time for sure. No worries. And I'll get that corrected in my database there. Let's see. What was your favorite constellation or deep sky object? Go ahead, Tom.
So I'm currently an airline pilot. I do a lot of Denver to Hawaii flying, and when I fly back from Hawaii, it's the red eye. You take off in the middle of the night and land at 6:30-ish Denver time, and the whole time you can see kind of there's nothing out there. It's real dark, and you're up at 40-ish thousand feet. So I like to look around, but you always pick out Orion. So it's a big little dipper, all that, but Orion really sticks out. And that's Orion's my favorite because I get to see it quite often. Nothing to do with my good stuff.
All right, Tom, appreciate you sharing that with us. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Let's see. Next on the list is Michael up in Whitehorse, Canada, Yukon there. VY1MGS. Good evening to you, Michael. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
CY1MGS returning, Mike. Greetings, Ernest, everyone on net. Currently about 50 degrees Charlie, approximately 70 degrees Foxtrot. Not a bad day here. We woke up with the blue skies. The smoke turned around, the wind changed direction. We've been stuck in some serious smoke, several fires near and far. Everyone, wherever you are, hope you're safe. And I hope summer's racing you on here in this part of the hemisphere. As neighbor 7.5 hour pointed out, yeah, we're same horizontal. So similar report here. I have been quite light out. We're not far away from the solstice. Maximum duration of day. Wonderful and always sad to get on the other side because of the inevitable fall coming, but every day is a present, so we'll take it. Great net as always. Thanks for doing it, Bernard. Take care, everyone. Big radio wave to all. Back to Bernard from Richard 81 by Gold here.
All right, Michael, appreciate you sharing that with us. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Roy in Oregon, KI7PKL. Good evening to you, Roy. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Well, good evening, Bernard, and everybody on the net. And I'm still in software
Roy, question for you. I know you do a lot of astrophotography. I guess what is your favorite object to take a image of, and your constellation or deep sky object? Go ahead.
Yeah, one that I always, I was in the hobby years ago before too, and started trying to get astrophotography together, and it just never quite did. And I always wanted to image was the horse head. And finally, last, a couple of winters, I got some data, managed to image the horse head. And so, yeah, I'm going to say that it's hard to pick a favorite. There are so many fun ones, and it's usually the one you're working on right now. But let's go with the horse head. Back to you, KSFP.
All right, Roy. Yeah, I can. Yeah, that one is in the constellation of Orion. So, yeah, that's a fun one. I won't see that with my scope. That's too dim an object, but to get an image of it is even better. So, I do think I did post that as one of the images of the month in the newsletter and on the web page. So, yeah, for all of you interested in astrophotography, you may want to check out Roy's QRZ page and check out some of his astrophotography work. That's KI7PKL. And check out his images. He's got some great ones. And I do like to use some of his for the newsletter as well. So Roy, appreciate you sharing that with us. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Let's see. Next on the list is John out in Ohio, W2JLS. Good evening to you, John. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
KI0AR, Bart, evening on your ears, sir, to you and the rest of the Colorado Astronomy Net listeners out there. Yeah, great topic. It's fun to talk about this, I think. Yeah, when I was a kid growing up, I was like you. I was very much plugged into Orion. It was just so prominent. It was difficult to ignore, easy to spot, and fun for a young observer. I think you could definitely find that. Obviously, everyone was interested in Ursa Major and Minor with the difference and such, and Polaris, the pole star. I guess I'll say too, though, as I was, by the time I was in high school, I latched onto a copy from the school library that I had just kept perpetually signed out. It was a title I think I may have mentioned here on your show before called Olcott's Fieldbook of the Stars, and I would look at that. It was really kind of neat because old school it had pullouts. I think it was published like really in the early 1900s, and it ran into the 1930s or something. But I have a couple of copies I own now because I've acquired them. It's out of print. But that was great because you could look at that, and I told you about the mythology of things. But I took to like trying to copy those out onto paper using a typewriter. It's kind of crazy, but it was trying to teach myself the constellations better. And I was really interested in Orion, and I got comfortable with some of the constellations around it. I liked Uranus, and I remember guys like Carl Sagan. It seemed like he mentioned in some of his Cosmos series. He was clearly plugged into Orion and Uranus. Kind of a neat thing. Then I'll also say I'll give a shout out to the summer constellation Cygnus, which no one's mentioned. I think that's really kind of cool in the summer months.
All right, John. Yeah, Ed liked Cygnus too, just before the summer constellation for sure. You betcha. You know, like you said, Orion is there, and of course, you know, I think most of us. I think that's probably the easily the top for a lot of people there for sure. Um, yeah, Cygnus is fun, definitely. Uh, Especially when you get towards Christmas, you watch it towards the horizon. It actually looks like a cross sitting on the horizon. Um, During the winter months there. All right, John, appreciate you sharing that with us. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. And Mark, we got you on the list. KC8FQV, thanks for checking in tonight. We'll get to you in a minute or two. Next on the list is Brandy, checked in via YouTube. So thanks for checking in that way. KD0UKR, good evening to you, Brandy. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that YouTube is working there. So get some get some views on that. And like I said, I did post some of those images on there. Next on the list is Johnny down in Texas, KG5TNF. Good evening to you, Johnny. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
I'd like to say hey to everybody. Thanks for letting me come in. I'm out here in the shed listening to all the fun talk and rearranging, trying to get more room out here. Don't really have much, just want to say hello. I'm Johnny here in Austin, Texas. Had a pretty nice day today. It wasn't terribly hot. It was real nice early in the morning. But anywho, I'll turn it back to y'all. I'm still listening. Kilo Golf 5, Tango, November Fox, monitoring. Back to
All right, Johnny, what's your favorite constellation or deep sky object? What do you like to look at up in the skies there? Go ahead.
well, I like taking pictures, and I've got a, not an expensive zoom camera, a digital camera, but on a tripod, I can pull the moon in and get pictures where you can really see the craters. And that's kind of boring, I guess, but the moon probably is my number one. And then, I like pointing out the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper to the grandkids. Get into the sky and space and stuff. A lot of times I'll go out when the space station's coming over my neighborhood and just go out there and stand there with the neighborhood cats and watch it fly over. Anyway, back to you.
All right, fine business there, Johnny. Yeah, it's always nice to get out there. Yeah, don't discount the moon for sure. That's definitely something to enjoy looking at. I actually did a project in college where I took pictures of every single phase of the moon for during a month. It actually took me about 3 or 4 months to get all of the pictures because of weather and things like that, and getting up earlier, and getting up earlier. And yeah, the ones that were very early in the morning were very difficult to get. Because sometimes you had to look out, and if it was completely overcast, you had to wait for another month to get that image. And so there were several of those, and did a nice little project for one of my astronomy classes on that. So that actually worked out. But definitely took them, developed them myself in black and white, and had fun. And looking at the Terminator under with a telescope, the Terminator being the division between light and dark, especially during the early phases of the moon. From new moon to first quarter, thereabouts, looking along the Terminator is definitely fascinating, and seeing what craters and mountains you can see, things like that. So, John, I'm glad you're getting out there with the grandkids and showing them the night skies for sure. I appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Mark out in Ohio, KC8FQV. Good evening to you, Mark. Tell us what's your favorite constellation or deep sky object up in the night sky. Anything else you'd like to pass along to the net? Go ahead.
Hey, everybody, so everything resets. KSFQ. The temperature right now is 70 over here. It must got warm enough because inside was 7 on the one side because there is no heat, no X. So whatever happens outside sort of happens inside over on the one side of the house. Now, on this time, so that. I can't really say. I like to see the moon, especially when it's red or something. And sometimes I'm looking at that moon and like, holy smokes, way over there. And then look at people over there. And when you're driving down the road, sometimes it makes just road turns and whatever. Of course, think about the sunrise and set. It seems like at a point it sets and rises. Like rises in the northeast sometimes here in Ohio. I don't know if it rises on the east, but it sometimes looks like it's north. And it sets way to the west, northwest almost sometimes. But something the way our astronomy, way our solar system, all these things move around. So let's send it back to same thing with the moon. Up when it goes down. Let's send it back to net. KC8FQV.
All right, Mark. Yeah, the moon actually is about as far south. The last full moon was about as far south as you would actually see it. So it was kind of rising towards the southeast and sets over towards the southwest. Didn't get very high, partly because of its inclination relative to the ecliptic. The ecliptic is that imaginary line that kind of follows the eclipse. If you were to stick a light bulb in the center of the earth and cut out a slot around the equator, that's the line that it would glow up in the sky. Well, the moon does not travel right along that particular line. It's 5 degrees plus or minus. So what happens is it's going to go up and on either side of that ecliptic line, and it will be low. It's low in the summer, and then watch what it does come fall. When we have the harvest moon and the hunter's moon, it's going to be high up, and like you said, it sometimes rises further north, further north and stays high in the sky for almost all night long. For several days in a row, it actually does that. So it swings both ways. Relative to that ecliptic line, and right now it's at its lowest, and in the fall it's going to be at its highest, and of course we wobble around a little bit as well. So definitely interesting to watch the how the moon is relative to what's up in the night skies and relative to the planets and the sun as well. That's one reason we do not have solar eclipses every new moon or lunar eclipses every full moon, is because of that inclination, the 5-degree differential of the moon relative to the eclipse or the ecliptic. So there you go. All right, Mark, appreciate your sharing that with us. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. All right, we are at the bottom of the list. Got a few more minutes left, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the net. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins. If you are a late check-in, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. So questions, comments, late check-ins, please call KI0AR now.
Late check-in, November 0, Foxtrot, Romeo, Golf. November 0, Foxtrot, Romeo, Golf.
Okay, Mike, N0FRG, thanks for checking in tonight. I guess the question tonight was, we actually had a question, your favorite constellation or deep sky object, or what do you like to look at up in the night skies? Anything else you'd like to share with the net tonight? Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I'm going to go with Sagittarius. You've got the center of the Milky Way running right down there, lots of nice deep sky objects. The only drawback to it is that I have this little town called Denver right to my east, which is right where Sagittarius is, so I have a pretty hard time seeing much of anything in it unless I get myself up into the high country, get away from some of those lights. But when I do, Sagittarius is a mighty beautiful thing. N0FRG, back to next.
All right, Mike. Yeah, Sagittarius, the mighty teapot. Yeah, it's best when it is towards the south. Actually, that's about as high as it gets. It's a fairly low constellation. Yeah, when it is south, you shouldn't have too much trouble seeing it. Let's see, where is Erie relative to Denver? I'll have to look that up. But yeah, for sure, Denver is a light. Big old light polluter, that's for sure. Yeah, makes it kind of difficult to spot, but yeah, definitely interesting to realize that that's where the center of our galaxy is, towards Sagittarius there. All right, Mike, appreciate you appreciate your sharing that with us. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. All right, I'm getting tired now. I'm gonna call it a night. I need to rest myself. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening. I'd like to thank everybody that's on, let's see, let's see. I'm going to start this thing over again. I'm going to let this thing reset. All right, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening. I'd like to thank the Rocky Mountain Radio League for the use of their repeater systems. Also, I'd like to thank the SkyHub Link group as well for all the links that we got tonight, so we can go coast to coast and north and south and wherever with all the links that we have available to us. I'd like to thank the 14 check-ins for sure for checking in tonight. And I think we had some, I got 4 likes on YouTube, so I do appreciate that. So thanks for that. So I've got a few likes there. With that, hopefully we'll hear from everybody next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time for another session of the Colorado Astronomy Net. That's 0100 Zulu Wednesdays. With that, I will say 73 and keep looking up. This is KI0AR. I'm clear.